Let's talk about deadlines. So I am a huge fan of deadlines because they cause you to get stuff done that would otherwise have been procrastinated. But I have a strong opinion about certain kinds of deadlines, and that is self-imposed deadlines. Here's the way it goes. Never let a self-imposed deadline trump good marketing. Now, let me just explain what in the world I mean by giving you a couple of examples. So not long ago, I was reading something from a person who had said, okay, I'm going to launch on a certain day, and I'm going to create these videos to help me launch. Excellent. Well, they had problems producing those videos. And so long story short, what ended up happening was because they had that launch on that day, they ended up not releasing those videos in advance. They were all released right on the day that they launched. Now, I don't know all the details or anything else like that, and I'm not judging that particular person if that particular person happens to watch this. What I am saying is this. This happens all the time. All the time. My guess is that I don't know, maybe 10, 20, 30% of launches have something major like this that happens in the launch process. And so it's not unique to just this person. It happens to all the time that if you have video problems and your deadline is a self-imposed deadline, especially if it's not communicated out to the world, you may want to shift things back a bit so that you can get things out and market well. Here's another one, tech issues. I have literally seen people launch products with a shopping cart that didn't work. And it's like, what? It's like, that is a self-imposed deadline. You said this thing's going to release at 10 o'clock. And if your shopping cart doesn't work at the moment that you launch, I just don't understand why you would do that, why you would launch at that. Here's another one. I've seen people literally become bedridden, physically sick. Okay. It's like deadlines can be altered. Now, I'm going to show you a couple of caveats in just a moment, but especially if they're not announced, you can alter a deadline. But even if it is announced with a good reason, you can shift that deadline. Now, it'll cause some difficulties, but here's the thing. Nobody's paying as much attention as you are to the deadlines that you've imposed. In fact, my guess is if you've told everybody, okay, this is going to release on Friday, and on Wednesday, you've got a major world blowing up issue, and you say, I'm going to delay it till Monday, my guess is that almost nobody will even realize that you shifted from Friday to Monday. So why should you get all concerned? So those who are paying attention probably won't mind if you explain the reason well enough. Now, things can always slide in our launches. And again, I want to just go back to if that person who wrote that note is watching this, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about everyone here because I've had it happen. I don't know anybody who's launched who hasn't had a major launch destroying thing happen at some point in their launch. Okay, here's a couple of caveats. Number one. If you have partners involved, especially affiliate partners, it becomes a lot more difficult to slide that because if they have emails scheduled, so literally I've had times where one of my major partners has set up a bunch of emails and he is on a lake water skiing with his kids, no internet access. I pretty much have to hold to those deadlines because he's not available to go change the dates of those things. So once you get affiliate partners involved, you pretty much have to stick to those deadlines. And in a second, I'm going to show you the solution to this. Secondly, don't use this concept that you can shift your deadlines as an excuse to either procrastinate or let your fear step in and say, oh, I just don't want to do this week because I may not do very well. But you know what? You probably won't do very well next week if you're not going to do very well this week. And so don't let this thing cause you to become perfectionistic or just not do anything. But remember, it's your life. It's your business. It's better to delay a couple of days than to blow your marketing. Okay, self-imposed deadlines are self-imposed deadlines. Now, yeah, maybe the best day to launch for you, you've determined for whatever reason is Friday is the best day to close cart. Well, maybe you can extend that to Monday because here's something that happened. These things are all possible. But there is one more point that I want to make in this entire process. Many of these issues can be totally eliminated, 99% eliminated by simply doing two things. Number one, do these things in advance. So you don't have to be creating video 3 hours before that video is scheduled to go live. I've learned this lesson the hard way. I've literally stayed up all night to create a video because it releases at 10 o'clock in the morning. Why I didn't do it 2 weeks before, I have no idea. But that's what I did. And then the second way you can avoid this is by testing like crazy 2 weeks in advance and testing like crazy just as you get there. But there's no reason why you can't create the technology, create the videos, create all those things long in advance so you can spend your time during a launch focusing on marketing as opposed to focusing on the creation that you could have done far earlier. And here's the thing that happens. When you do it far earlier, you're probably going to get better results from those videos and that tech than you will if you're doing it right up against a deadline. I know it's hard. We all like to procrastinate, and that's one reason we set a deadline so we'll get stuff done. Maybe you set a deadline 2 weeks in advance to get it all done so you can then focus on your launch during the other time. You got to do what's right for you. But I strongly question whether it's a good idea to ever let a deadline, especially if it's artificially imposed by you, hurt your marketing. Okay? The reason I'm saying this, I see it happen all the time, and I don't want it to happen to you. What's your thoughts? Let me know in the comments. This is Don Crowther saying, just go do this stuff.